Hey guys, welcome to The Beat Goes On. Hey, we actually get to do an interview for the first time in way too long. And tonight I am sitting down with Ray and Brooke of Dawn of the Rising. Hey guys.
How's it going?
Hey Larry.
Welcome to my home studio. How are you guys doing?
Doing very well.
Doing great.
Surviving this madness?
Absolutely. Best we can, right?
Aren't we all? Thank you guys for braving the germs to come in and sit with me at my studio.
Yeah.
Oh my God, if y'all get sick, I'm so sorry.
I think at this point I'd rather die than be alone. You know?
So with you, I was at a band rehearsal for one of my bands last night, and it felt so good to be back around the
and
music.
to listen to live music. I miss listening to live music. That's what's nice about going to Dawn of the Rising rehearsal is I get to hear some live music again.
It kills me. I didn't realize. Okay, I realize how much I work for the bands. I know I put in on average of 100 hours a week back before. I didn't realize just how dedicated I was until I didn't have it to do. And I'm sitting going, what am I doing with myself on my day off?
Absolutely. You know what's funny is, you know how all these concerts are being postponed. Tonight we would be on stage right now opening up for Flotsam and Jetsam.
I know. That ticket's sitting on my dresser.
Well, we're here instead.
I know, and I so appreciate that.
And for all of your listening pleasures.
That's right.
Absolutely. So let's start with...
Oh, that is rebooked, by the way?
Yeah, I saw that. I did see
April
that.
30th, 2021, and I don't care if it's a year away.
I don't care. It's rebooked.
It's positive. And I'll take it.
It is a win. We are chalking one in the W column.
Absolutely.
I will count that. So, and I don't want anybody to get offended by what's about to come out of my mouth because I'm going to follow it up with clarification. We are having Brooke sit in on this interview. Normally these interviews are with the band members. But Brooke, you're a member of Dawn of the Rising just as much as Ray is.
Absolutely.
So you may not be up there on that stage singing or playing an instrument, but
I'm a big support. And
you bet.
And I know how beneficial that can be to have a spouse or a partner that's supportive of this craft because it requires so much time and money and attention and energy, and it really is but it's something that musicians they love to do it.
I grew up with a motorcycle rider in my world. My dad rode a bike.
Cool.
My stepmom referred to that bike as his other woman.
Absolutely.
So I understand what it takes to be a musician's wife.
Yes.
And that level of dedication that you actually put into this. And you don't just support the band, you're actually in the videos.
Yes. I've had a good time making the videos with the guys. And I don't fight for any creative control. I really appreciate it.
No, she just rolls with the punches, actually. We come up with goofy ideas.
They come up with great storylines, though. It starts with the storyline, and then the creativity just flows with all the guys putting in the input. And
Yeah, we use Library Studios, by the way.
Yeah.
With Brandon Krasiniak. And we have an alliance. I mean, this is our 6th video with him. He's awesome. We just did the EP there too, audio that's out on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon.
Now that that's officially out, do I get the MP3 so I can start airing it on my podcast?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I apologize. That was the release. And now it's worldwide and all that. But I wanted you, since you do so much for the local scene and you're such an awesome, wonderful person, I gave you 1 month ago, and
and I have been sitting on it.
And that's so awesome because that tells your professionalism and just like a doctor's confidentiality.
I will tell you, it got popped in my CD player that night on the way home, so I've listened to it.
I totally appreciate
but
that.
It did get put in my music drawer, waiting for the approval. I gave you my word I wouldn't share it.
Yes.
And you did. You held to your word. 100%.
There were so many
Sean
times.
Gilbert did as well, because I gave him one. I snuck him one.
Yeah, there were so many times I wanted to have it like playing in the background as I was doing an interview. And I'm like, damn it, I can't do that. So yes, but that was such an honor. I've got to tell you, I walked around for weeks talking about how I got that CD. I was one of the chosen few.
It's worldwide now, all over. Our record label, Curtain Call Records, is promoting it worldwide, as we are. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of our posts. Ignacio, our newest member, he's from Miami, technically, born there, but he's lived in Puerto Rico 30-some years, and he's really a big name in the music scene there.
Nice.
He was in a band called Forgotten, which was his project. It was his baby. And when he moved here, David Martinez from Noción, which is also on our label, let him know that we were looking for a guitar player when the position opened. And that's how he became in our band. He came and auditioned. He saw one of our ads our manager put out, answered it. Then he talked to David and said, hey, do you know these crazy-looking, ugly fuckers?
Okay, I am so glad that you actually pronounced the name of that band.
Noción?
Yeah, because that
Ignacio has taught me well.
Right.
Well, see, they've sent me music. I've played their stuff on that on the Beat Goes On, or on the Bands of the Beat podcast. Yeah, I haven't been pronouncing it right all this time.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
It is,
So,
and you know
yeah,
what? They're actually good people, and David, if you're listening, or going to be listening, thank you, brother, for this awesome brother that is in our band now.
I'll make sure.
We totally appreciate that, because he has come in and he is 100% a brother and a member and partner in Dawn of the Rising for good. Yeah. We finally have every piece we need to be an accomplished kick-ass rock and roll band.
Yeah. I'll make sure he gets it, because he's a member of the local beat. And like I said, he has sent me their music. And I've got to say, David, not once have you come back to me and corrected me on the pronunciation of your band's name. Dude, I would not have been offended, and I am so sorry.
I'm sure he's used to the Americans screwing it up.
Yeah.
I am a white girl. I am so sorry. So let's go start with some history. Your history.
Okay.
Back to your start in music. Where did you get started?
Cordova Elementary, you know. A long time ago, yeah. I've always had a love for music. Since I was a young child, my mom said I ran around with a stick and a rubber band going, rubber band man, you know. And she knew I was fucked ever since. But I've always had a love for it. I was actually in choir as a kid. My Aunt Barbara, God bless her, rest in peace. She was a member of that choir for like probably 50 years. But when I was a kid, she dragged me to choir, kicking and screaming. And I didn't appreciate it, to be honest with you. And then years later, I'm in high school, right? Well, no, grade school, but high school, I'm going to skip real quick to high school, because I tried to be a guitar player. And I went to Alhambra High School in the rocker days, in the 80s, when everybody, and they had a waiting list for guitar for years. Well, you finally get in. I did, finally as a junior. And I get into class, and the teacher's like, all right, open up your books, this and that. And then I said something smart ass. I think Rat just came out of the cellar. And I said, hey, are you going to teach us lack of communication? Boom, I got booted.
Oh, man.
That was the end of my guitar career.
Oh,
anyways.
That had to hurt.
And then I was thinking, what can I do to be in a band like all these cool people? Oh, sing, you know. I can sing. I learned a long time ago, but I didn't appreciate it until then. Especially, we were doing bands like Queensryche, T&T, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, and you have to actually be able to sing to do those things.
Well, because, back then, to be a musician, you actually had to be good.
Oh, absolutely. The vocals, well, it goes back to the 60s. Look at all the harmony. The 50s.
Yeah.
Look at the harmonies. They didn't have auto-tune. They didn't even have freaking reverb.
Yeah.
They had one huge pan. If you hit it, it went... You know what I mean? So you had to stay away from the board. Anyways.
Right.
You had to sing.
Yeah.
And you had to know your key. You had to know your place. You had to know your time.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't sing, guess what? You were not singing.
And you didn't go anywhere.
Right. No, you didn't go anywhere.
You
if you were Elvis, you sang in a can, you were going to be great because Elvis was a great man.
Well, and that is one of the things that sadly I personally feel is harming our music community is all of the technology that has come out makes it so anybody can be a rock star.
Yeah.
They don't value the work it takes to get to where you are.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and like you said, from the beginning, I would have to say the first organized, really good band I was in was a cover band, Contact High. Well, before that was Orpheus, which was a Thrashian band, a mosh, if you will. We opened for MOD in '89 at Rockers, which was an awesome club in Arizona, one of the best. Surgical Steel, Icon, which were schoolboys before that, The Dogs, which is Flotsam and Jetsam now, and many, many, many others have played there and probably have great memories, just like the Mason Jar and like your interview with Pat Flannery and the Mason Jar, same thing.
Yeah.
We all played Rockers, the Mason Jar. There was a lot of good clubs in this town, and I'm glad to be a part of, just like Pat, part of this Arizona heavy metal history. I'm proud to be an Arizona heavy metal and rock and roll vocalist.
Right.
I hold pride in that because there's so many great bands like the bands I just mentioned from Arizona. And now to this day, I'm not just discarding all the bands, like Sick Monic and all those kick-ass bands, but there's so much good music in Arizona, everywhere in the world, but I'm proud to be from Arizona.
Right.
Because there's so many good bands, and the style of metal, which, like you said, in the beginning, what got you started, was watching Surgical Steel, watching Flotsam, watching Sacred Reich, watching, these bands grow from Icon, you know what I mean? Those vocal styles are etched into my soul, literally.
Well, and back then, and I say that like it was so long ago, I'm sorry, it really wasn't to me, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Each band was unique.
Oh, yeah.
Metallica, I remember when Metallica made it big. One of the biggest things that was said about them was their unique sound, their unique vocals.
They were such a mind-blowing band.
Yeah, they were. One of the things that I'm seeing is so many, unless you are at, and I'm going to say our level, even though I am nowhere near at the level of in the music community as you are, but unless you are at our level, so many of the bands sound the same.
Oh, absolutely. Cookie cutter.
I play the music I get, not just on the podcast, but I have a whole focus group at work where I play for my coworkers when I get new music from a new band. Hey, what do you think of this one? My boss looked at me the other day. I was playing, I can't even remember what band, and I thought she'd really like it. It was a female singer, and it was beautiful song, beautiful skill in that song. And she looked at me and she went, all of the music you listen to sounds the same. and I'm like, okay, I have played Saint Madness for her. I have played Oddity Paradox for her. I have played... No. To me, I can tell you the difference between each one of those bands. But she's not at this level. So she just hears, and she is the epitome of everybody else out there.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, too much of our music scene is becoming that cookie cutter.
Yeah. Yeah, and it seems like when a band does get a niche or something going for them, then everybody like minnows attract to it like it's the only piece of bread in the pond. You know what I'm saying?
Can we quit playing the lemming? Yeah. It's not attractive.
Right.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So let's get back to talking about you and your past. So you have been through, by this point in your history, you had been through a couple of bands. How long has Dawn of the Rising been in existence?
We started in 2015. I was coming out of a hardcore heavy metal band, 94 Blades, and I was also in, at the same time, rock and blues band, which was Western Society, with my late great friend Thomas Keating Mount, TK, aka TK. Great lead guitar player, composer, engineer. God bless him. May God rest his soul. Very great man. Anyways, I was coming out of that band, and my son, Justin Coon, which is in the band, he's always been an old soul. He's a young guy. He's the youngest member, and he's in his 20s, and he's getting up there, late 20s, but still young for jamming with us old folks. You know what I mean? And he always plays Tesla. His favorite guitar player is Slash. A lot of kids his age are going to raves and doing EDM, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he's, like I said, an old soul. He loved rock and roll. Well, I was like, you know what? All these projects that I just keep going through, and that also brings me back to Pat Flannery. I've always admired the fact when he went out on his own, and I listened to the podcast you guys did, and I heard him say he was just tired of doing the same old thing. Doing other bands, other people's bands, and doing what they wanted to do, and sharing the focus of everyone collectively just coming up with rock and doing it. He had an idea of what he wanted to do himself, and he became a leader and started his own band.
Right.
And I always admired that, but I was always like stuck in the rut of getting into other people's bands and doing what they wanted to do. And a vicious cycle. I've been in really, really good bands and signed bands and, worldwide recognition, all that, but never really doing what I really wanted to do myself. So I finally did what Pat did super late. And I'm a slow learner.
It is never too late.
I can learn music really well, but life, it's kind of hard.
The only time it's too late is when they're lowering you 6 feet under.
Absolutely. And it was never too late. But in 2015, I said, look, Justin, let's jam together. And he was all for it because he loves to play guitar. He'd go to a party. He's the guy in the corner with the guitar, playing Tesla, playing, all the songs that people love to sing to. And pretty soon the whole party's trying to sing to it. You know what I mean? Seriously, he's always that guy. He's, just bring him a beer and he'll keep playing. He's like a jukebox.
I'm the one with my phone out going, no, here, check out this band.
Right. He does that with a guitar. And anyway, I was like, Justin, you gotta, let's jam. You're playing everything I love. Let's write music and let's play together in a band. So I immediately called Chris Keener, because you need the best backbone you can have in a band is a drummer. You know what I mean? Right. If you ain't got a good drummer, you ain't got shit. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. You got to start with
They're the heartbeat.
Yeah, you got to start with the heartbeat, and then the bass is right there with it, and it gives you the flow for the bloodline to get to your heart, which is the singer and the guitar players, because you work together, the aorta and whatever the other thing's called underneath. Anyways.
Well, we'll get out of anatomy now.
Right, because I'm no good at that either. Anyways, yeah, I said, let's start a band. Dawn of the Rising. Bang. We had to go through a couple members, of course. When you're fine-tuning something...
Hold on. I'm going to stop you for a minute, because you just skipped over something that is always important to me.
Okay.
You just said Dawn of the Rising, bam. I know that the name couldn't have come that quick and easy. It never does.
No, I'll be honest
Like
with
magic.
you. I'll be honest with you. It's so hard to come up with a band name because there's so many freaking bands, and as the years pass, it gets harder because 100 band comes, or thousands, millions come out
daily,
every day, and names and trade names and trademarks and all that. You got to have your ducks in a row if you want to be a professional,
right?
So I use name generator, right? But I don't cheat and just use the name it gives me. I'll write down a word from it. And then I'll do another one, and I'll write down another word, and then until I get something, and then I switch them all around, and that sounds cool or unique, and then I do a search, and is that taken? Oh, damn, snap. Somewhere in Montana is another one of these. And
Montana's got all the best band names.
When I came up with 94 Blades, my daughter and I were doing that, and that was the band before this. It was a generator, and something, it came up 94, and then... or something, and then Blades came up, and I'm like, hey, why don't we use 94 Blades? You know what I mean? So it kind of, Dawn on the Rising was the same thing. But I liked it because once the words came together, and that's how you piece them together when it has a meaning, and it hits you, and you feel it, just like the music. When you're writing a song, if you write something you don't believe in, you're not going to feel it, and the people are not going to believe you because it's crap. You're not feeling it.
And music is all about the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Without that, people aren't going to connect.
Absolutely not. How can you if there's no emotion? To me, magic, the only magic that really exists that we can actually tell exists is music. Like you said, and you said the perfect word, it's universal.
Yeah.
And that means the universe. And I think the universe is all connected. Us as people as well. We're all connected with an energy. A good energy, and music feeds the soul.
Right.
And that's my true, honest belief. It's not bullshit. I'm not religious, but I am spiritual.
And that's it. I'm not religious. I have a really hard time. No offense to anybody who chooses to believe. I believe it's more important that you believe, not what you believe.
Right. And there is a God. I'm not saying is a God like, random. I believe in God, basically. But I believe in the universe, too. I think science and God are one. How can you have one without the other?
I believe in a higher energy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's
something.
Superior energy.
Yes.
That's good, that we're all connected to,
yeah.
which is the universe. And the earth is alive. I mean, come on. It bleeds. It grows. You stick a seed in the ground. It grows. It's alive. Just as alive we are. And where do we go when we die? Back into the earth.
You bet.
And guess what? We turn into something else. Or we're just the dirt for that next weed that comes through.
If nothing else, we become food for the next generation.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Or the ants. Whatever.
That's the next generation.
Absolutely. But it all gets regenerated.
Right.
The energy, And when it comes to music, that's how I feel.
Right.
If there's no energy, and there's no emotion, and there's no feeling, people don't buy it. Not monetary buy it.
They don't buy into it.
Right, exactly.
And that's such an important thing for me. I can't get behind something I can't connect to.
Absolutely. You can't mail it in.
No, I so can't. I have delayed putting podcasts out because I just didn't have the right headspace to put out a podcast that was 99% somebody's music and me just introducing it.
Yeah.
If the energy isn't there, if the headspace isn't there, it's not there.
And I'm sure every musician will attest to this that has had this. There's nothing like the connection when you're playing live on stage and there are people there and it's a lot of people and you can feel the energy when it's working.
Yeah.
And you get an energy flow through the crowd and your band and you know it's happening because it's happening naturally.
Right.
It's not, you're not forcing it, you're not thinking about, oh shit, what if I miss this next line? Oh, damn it, I tripped over his chord. I must have looked like a dipshit. You know what I mean? When you get out of your mind
And let the music be magic.
You can feel. Well, you can feel.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, there's a connection from the crowd to the band
Right.
when everything's clicking right and the show is rocking, and you can feel the energy, and that's the magic I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And people dig it because they can relate to that. When you feel that connection, everyone in the room feels it. Even the fucking haters. They're sitting there banging their head. These guys fucking suck.
And yet
But they're
they
still
can't
banging their
stop
head.
moving. I tell, because at the shows, I've got my camera in front of my face. And I am taking that video. I am looking for those next best shots for my videos. And people look at me and they're like, are you having any fun? Want to know how to tell whether I'm having fun? When you watch the video, is it solid or is it bouncing? Because if that video's got movement to it, that was because I was dancing.
Right.
Yeah, that's how you know it's good.
So that's not the shaker effect that you
No, I wish I'd have known that before. I could have used that as my cover. Free Will, I did a video for them at the last concert they did with Wasp, and he actually mentioned publicly on Facebook about it being wobbly, and I had to go publicly apologize to him that his band made me dance, and that was why the video was wobbly.
I'm sure he didn't mind, because, like, you know, if you touch one person, and this goes to the shows where there's no freaking people,
Right.
but you see one person digging it, totally.
Right.
And we've all done it. If you've been a musician long enough out there, you've played in an empty freaking bar room with one or two people and a bartender.
Right.
And you still have to put on a show. Like back in Straight Jacket in the 90s when we were playing the Mason Jar and stuff, we used to call it Phil the drummer. Now he's in the U.S. Bombs, Phil Barber. He used to say the living room tour. Because we'd be playing and literally two people out there and the bartender. And that would be a Wednesday night because Franco was like that. Oh, if you want to play with Warrant, then you're going to play Wednesday night for me because I need you there. Then I'll give you Warrant.
Right.
Okay, we'll do it. But
fill those
still,
spots
you feel good if that one person is like in the front with his head banging and the horns held high. You
Right.
feel great, and you end up actually like there's 10,000 people in there.
Right.
But then when you're done, you realize, fuck, the living room tour. But still, that one
It was
person
a
comes
night-
up and says, dude, that one song, it was totally bitching. You know what I mean? And then it works out. But you know what I'm saying? If you reach one person, to me as an artist, we obviously don't do this for money, especially at this part of the game.
There is no money in music. I will repeat that probably until the day I die. There is no money in music until you're Metallica.
Right.
Then there's money in music.
And there won't be no more
Right.
Led Zeppelins or Metallicas, unfortunately. Because
Oh, don't say that.
It's well, there maybe band wise. I'm not saying there won't be another band that good that can write like that. Well, they were mostly covers. Led Zeppelin was, anyways. But there's not going to be that level of success anymore because there's no record sales to give you the numbers on the Billboard charts that they had back then because you had to physically buy copies.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's how your numbers grew and that's how your wallet grew. Now, that's all gone. There's no financial gain. You can tour a lot, and a lot of bands do, and that's the only way you can eat, is if you tour. And you come home and tour. That's the only way you're going to make a living with music. And you know what? I'm not looking to gift horse in the mouth. I play music because I love it.
Right.
And because I strive, I'm like a crackhead for that connection with the audience. I always strive for that connection because it's such a wonderful feeling. You don't need drugs. You don't need alcohol. All you need is that microphone or guitar or drums and that connection with that crowd to get the euphoria and the high that I strive for, you know, as a vocalist and a musician.
And that connection has done you well, which leads to a story I'm going to tell. But I want to go back and touch another point because you brought up something that is important, really important, quite honestly. So back in the day, because we are so old,
Yes.
I dated Methuselah's older brother. Record sales generated the numbers that said who was on top.
Yeah, absolutely. It still does today, but they're just different.
Okay, so how do they generate it? Because you're right, people aren't really out buying albums anymore.
The vinyl is back, and if you're a nostalgia buyer, it's awesome. I am. I go to Zia Records still to this day because I want a physical copy in my freaking hand. A CD, a vinyl. I buy my daughter. My daughter's an old soul too. I don't know what it is with my kids. I'm sorry. I'm recycling souls. My bad.
You're good.
But to me, those were the times. And like I said before, I'm very proud to have been a part of that.
Those memories.
Yeah. Where you can walk in a music store and pick out an album, and you can read who edited it, or the engineer, the mastering, what house they did it in, the people who were on the record, or even a guest, like Alden Nova. He would hire all these badasses, but he wrote the music. I mean, even Bon Jovi and him, they both wrote songs together for their project and their projects. You know what I mean? They still create great music in the albums, and you can read that on their albums. Now, you can still get that, but you got to look it up. You got to Google it. You got to do this.
Right.
You got to do that.
And, I mean, I am a good collector. To musicians, I'm probably a bad collector, and I hope none of them get offended by this, but, like, you guys give me CDs. I love my CDs. But all but 2 of the CDs that I've been given, that I've kept, are still in plastic. Because I don't want to open them.
Right.
I don't want to devalue them.
Right.
That's one reason I like the internet, because I can still go hear that music and have that
I'm
music.
not dissing the internet.
Without having to pop the seal on that CD. Now, the 2 CDs that aren't still in plastic, lo and behold, one of them happens to be y'all's. I don't know, silly me. The other one actually is Exiled. The only reason that one's out of plastic is because Sage made me take it out of the plastic.
Yeah.
So that the guys could actually sign the booklet inside.
I've known Kason, I mentioned Straight Jacket a minute ago, was playing at the Jar. We've played with Kason. He was doing his own thing a long time ago, Kason, and we played in Tucson with them. Mm-hmm. He's a good dude. I like him, and he's a great singer too. And I like Exiled.
I love Exiled.
They would have been on that show tonight as well with Flotsam.
Yeah,
and
Sage
Empire of
is,
Desire, they kick ass too. That show is going to be so fucking kick ass. Oh my
it
God.
will be. I can't wait for it. I absolutely can't wait for it. So now I'm going to jump back to the story, because you were talking about how that connection, you love connecting to the people. And I know we were talking about energy-wise, but one of the reasons that I became such a huge fan of Dawn of the Rising and such a huge supporter of Dawn of the Rising was I was at Brooke's birthday party last year. I was barely into the music community. I had just barely started doing all of this. Anybody who knows me or has heard me talk about I don't connect to people. I have anxiety in public. Walking up and talking to a stranger is not a good thing for me. Might make me cry if I'm not careful. Level of not good for me. Y'all, you guys got up and sang. And I did video of it. Well, I had challenged myself that I had to be a professional if I was going to do this and do it right. I had to be a professional and approach every band that I took video of and let them know that I had taken video and where they could find that video. I spent a good hour trying to catch you outside, Ray, so I could at least do it away from people. But you were so busy doing your thing and talking to people and doing
I'm like a wounded animal.
Doing what you guys need to do out there, that I finally ended up approaching Brooke and explaining to you, Brooke, who I was and what I was doing.
Yes.
And you were so sweet.
She always is.
And so open and accepting, and oh my God, that is so awesome of you. And I'm like, I don't edit anything. It's just me and just my phone. And you're like, oh my God, but that's so cool. And then Ray, you walked over and she explained to you, and you yourself were like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Ray has always stressed the importance to me on how important the fans are. And it's something I'm already aware of, but he really expresses it on a deeper level on how important it is for people like you, Larry, that supports the music, and that's what you're here for. That's your intention. And it's so cool.
First and foremost, I'm a music fan. And that was the whole purpose of me becoming a singer in the first place, was being a music fan. I'm also, all my life has been rock and roll. Since I started in bands, once I met Norm Jarvis in Orpheus, he was the creator of Orpheus, that first band I told you about. Mm-hmm. He got me my first staging gig in the 80s. Paul McCartney and Pink Floyd were my first two shows, huge at ASU Stadium, 5-6 days of just brutal labor in the sun, getting my ass kicked. But I'll tell you what, I've been in rock and roll all my life, as a stagehand, as a audio tech and lighting tech, a loader in the trucks. I've done it all. I've even done a little bit of security. They just don't get paid very well, so I didn't do that very much. Obviously. But no, I've been a singer and I've been a tech and a stagehand. I know both hands.
Right.
I know what it takes to build a production for an awesome artist, and then when you're out there watching the show, waiting for the out, you feel so good watching the production that you helped build.
Right.
You had a hand in it.
Right.
You and 100 other guys. But still, as a team,
you can look
put that together and you're seeing Iron Maiden up there, or Guns N' Roses, or Metallica. I've worked them, all.
Right.
And just being in the audience as a fan, looking back at that, and you're like, wow, that's so awesome. Then I take all that energy and I bring it back to me as a musician. So I'm a fan first, and that's why, like Brooke said, it's important to treat them well, because without their energy, there is no money. Why would you do this in the first place?
Right.
I mean, you just bang your head on the wall.
Right when you started up, Larry, Ray told me that what you're doing is cool.
Yeah.
This is before we even got to know you.
Yeah, well, it's been
cool.
It's been quite a while.
We need more people like you, Larry, to help this stay alive. With all this badass EDM group DJs coming out trying to kick our ass, they are taking our gigs and using all that awesome production for a DJ, which is, like I said, I'm not against that, and I'm not.
But we're not going to lose tradition here.
No,
rock and roll will never die.
Absolutely, and God bless you for saying that. What I'm saying is, more like you, we stay alive longer.
That's right.
My homies at Decibel Geek Podcast, Aaron Camaro and Chris Sinzak. They're also fighting the fight like you and I as music fans, and they keep it alive as well, and we're all in this struggle together worldwide. All bands, all podcasts for rock and music, and now YouTube helps too, but they're kind of dicks. They'll delete you. But the podcast will always show you love.
Yeah, what I mean? Well, and that's. To me, I want to support what I love. Music is so important. Right now, how many people are dying emotionally in their homes because they're not getting to go out and socialize? These podcasts, it sucked having to take a break from doing the interviews. Yeah. That was really hard because I want the fans to know this side of you.
And by the way, there's only 3 of us. We are not gathering.
Yes, we are meeting the maximum, no problem. Goodness gracious. But it's so important to keep that music flowing. I have had days I live by myself. Yeah. I'm off.
In your nice home. Thank you for your hospitality.
You are welcome.
We just enjoyed
here.
a killer meal. She made an awesome dessert. You cannot see it because this is audio.
It's called banana split cake. I'll share the recipe online.
I thought you called it sex in a pan.
I said people have called it sex in a pan, and
Larry says, "Come over for dessert. We're having sex in a pan."
And I'm telling you,
and I'm like, how are we going to fit?
It's a really big pan, I'm telling you. But I'm home 2 days a week, just here in my house by myself.
Lucky.
I am a person, well, no, because I deal with depression, and I have since I was a kid. So being in this level of seclusion, it's not easy.
It's very lonely for a lot of people.
And I like myself. It's not that I'm, unhappy in my own company. I walk around the house talking to myself because there's nothing else to do. So having the music on my phone. And I have files and files and files on my phone. I can flip through it. I can remember shows where I got to hear that live. I can pull myself out of my headspace into a different headspace because music saves lives.
Oh, it does. And I bet you anything, they should stop working on the vaccine right now and just put headphones on these victims, and I guarantee they'll jump right up and start doing the jig.
If nothing else, they'll start tapping their fingers.
Yes, I'm Irish.
There ain't no problem with Irish. So let's get off of the negative because that just got so dark. God damn it, I hate that.
Fucking fast. We went from sex pan to fire.
Yeah, damn it. Hate when I jump in the fire. No, wait a minute, I like fire.
Again, Metallica, jump in the fire.
Yes. So it's been a wild ride for me in just, what am I at, 7 months? 7 months in this? 8 months in this? Oh. It's been a wild... My first show...
Well, you had your year anniversary,
No,
right?
6-month anniversary in March.
Oh, I thought that was a year. I was like, God damn, that went fast.
That was 6 months in the music community. 6 months of you bands standing behind me, helping me.
Penny, and her husband, what's his name?
Trevor,
yeah. Thank you guys for that, because we enjoyed that hospitality as well.
That was
we really
such
appreciated
a phenomenal
the food and the hard
night.
work you guys did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was such an incredible night, but that was our 6-month anniversary. So we are at 8 months now that I've been doing this, and coming on 10 months, just over 10 months that I've even been in the music community. And I don't know how I would have survived without the music during this time.
And I feel bad for the fan. Me as a musician, we actually have 4 more new songs that we're going to record and add to this EP and make it a full-length album. Because of the, I won't say it because you asked me not to, because of the situation we are in.
Right.
We've had the opportunity to write music, and I can sit at home with my guitar and lose myself.
Right.
Unfortunately for the fans, some of them don't have the equipment or the time. Well, they have the time, obviously. I'm sorry about that. But they have to sit there, like you said, and they want to see shows. And me too. It's sad. I feel like that Native American in the commercials back in the day when we were kids, crying on the hill, watching the trash roll across the desert. I feel like that because I see the shows.
His name. Oh
I
my
see
God.
the shows falling one by one, postponed. Now all those festivals I just saw today from our label and Rock Rage Radio, posting that I can't even remember all their names. There's so many, but in a row, boom, 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 4 huge festivals that usually happen in September, but they didn't want to go to the last minute and say sorry, so they just went ahead and made the decision to pull the plug, which I understand because those things take a lot of preparation and planning.
They do.
Bands have to make arrangements and band crew and loved ones, like you said, the people who support us at home. Everybody has to make plans and adjust their lives for these things. So they made the right decision, I believe, to cancel. But it's sad, like the Native American on the hill with the tear, that, oh my God, every time you see another one fall. We were playing, we were scheduled to play Metal in the Mountains in West Virginia.
Right.
I was so and that's postponed. And it's sad because I was so excited.
Yeah.
a road trip across the United States with Dawn on the Rising.
Yeah.
And we were looking forward to it. And it's not canceled, but it is postponed.
Right.
And we can't wait, and we're still on it. Our label's backing everyone on there, and they're going to try to keep everyone that's on. You know, the headliners were Butcher Babies. I think Flaw's on it. I'm not sure if they were one of the headliners. Attila, and what was the other one? It's another. I feel bad. I no disrespect
okay.
to the third band, but there was some headliners, and
right.
when this happens, the camps have to replan their tours,
right.
so there's no guarantees the same lineups are going to be on,
right.
and whatnot. So you got to wait to hear before you can say anything.
Thank
God the Flotsam thing replanned,
right?
Because every band committed
right.
to do it when it
right.
comes.
Well, and like I've had to cancel, openly acknowledge and cancel 2 shows during this time. And I waited until literally the last minute, the week of the show. I told all of the bands in advance, I am not calling it a cancel until I have no choice, because I'm holding out hope. Yeah. I've got a show coming up May 9th, Penny's birthday. It's her 50th birthday. We have got Fatal Malady is going to be playing at Hooper's for Penny's 50th birthday.
Oh, awesome. Wow. Very cool.
She just reached out to me today, and she's like, should we reschedule for another time? And I'm like, no, not yet. No. I am not calling it.
Well, you have that alternative, right? Down at Oasis, I hear they're throwing shows.
Well, that's a whole other ball game. We're
on the street.
There's a couple. We can talk about that offline, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, I've seen
we've done
Band
live,
Oasis doing concerts, and I've been watching.
We've been doing live feeds
and
from Band Oasis.
They're doing great, and kudos to all you, Brian Mogul. Thank you for all the help you've given us since our release and the shares. We totally appreciate it, and you kick ass, and I always look forward to your solos at the Band Oasis. And whoever needs any rehearsal, check out Band Oasis.
Band Oasis is a great space. It really is. But yeah, there's that. I am the epitome of like the starry-eyed, hold out hope, Pollyanna person, because I'm always looking for that gold at the end of the rainbow, the silver lining.
Yeah, me too.
I refuse to call something dead until it really is.
Yeah, you're like me. You love the underdog. That's why I'm a Suns fan. God bless them as well.
See, and I'm a Seahawks fan, and that'll tell you something. Yeah. Holy cow. So let's go back to the music. Let's go back to the Dawn of the Rising.
Okay.
And now we know how you generated that name. But you also said something, it had meaning. What does that name mean to you?
Well, right now actually is the dawn of the rising, because it is dawn, and we have just released a kick-ass EP. I feel really good about it. Honestly, I've done a lot of work in my 51 years, maybe 30-something in the music business as a singer on stage. And I feel this is my best work.
Yeah.
With the best guys I can have around me. And that's no bullshit. That's no lie. I speak from my heart. I always will. If I don't like you, I'll tell you fuck you right to your face. But I do love this band, and it means the world to me, especially my son's in it as well. Yeah. And Ignacio is a great guy. Like I said, he's a brother. I feel like I've known the dude all my life. He's been in the band 8 months, you know.
It's definitely a killer CD, an EP. Sorry, I'm so old school. It's a CD.
Well, like I told you, we're going to add to it.
So why don't you think twice about it? I'm like, hell yeah, CD.
We're going to add to it. The EP is a release.
Yeah.
There will be a part 2, and it will be one record.
Yeah.
We don't know if we will. It is a self-titled EP right now. I don't know if we'll slap a title on it or not. Maybe not. Maybe EP self-titled 2, who knows?
There you go.
Who knows? But there are 4 more songs going to be on that. Maybe 5. There is a surprise song that it's a cover, but it's a redo, just like a lot of bands do.
Right.
And it's going to be a single, but it will be on the record as well. I'm not going to give it up. But.
Don't. We'll let you keep the secret.
And I'm actually thinking of a second cover to add, but it's going to be acoustic.
See, I love acoustic because that's what I grew up with.
And that song is another surprise.
That's true.
That I can't let the cat out of the old bag.
So, I want to hear a little bit. You've mentioned Ignacio a couple of times. I want to hear about the other members of the band. They're not here to speak for themselves, but damn it, they need recognition. They deserve it.
They got all tangled up in their masks and they couldn't get out of the house.
Damn those masks. See, I knew they were dangerous.
I told them not to buy XXXL. I told them. The string is too long.
It's the ego, though. They were having to make sure to be able to protect the ego.
Yeah, always.
Absolutely. You got to tie your head down so it don't get so big.
We love you guys. So, who's all in the band?
Okay, we have Ignacio's. How do you pronounce his last name correctly? I don't want to fuck it up.
I just call him Iggy.
Okay, Iggy for short. He was in a band Forgotten in Puerto Rico. He made a name for himself there. Really good members, and he came here because he met a nice young lady, and he lives with her now in Arizona. And God bless them both for living here so he can be in the band.
Absolutely.
But they also have a wonderful summer home in Puerto Rico.
Oh,
So
I
guess
know where
what?
I'm going down vacation.
Well, I'll tell you what. You'll probably be going with us because we will be playing in Puerto Rico. We're blowing up over there. Because he was in a good band there. They're paying attention to what he's doing here.
Right.
We are on a label. We are worldwide. We are a national band. Our release was worldwide. We're being pushed all over the world on terrestrial radio and online, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. If
Getting
it's,
your song out there is getting your song out there,
any
man.
platform, any format. I'm not shy. I don't care. You know what I mean? As long, like I said, reach that one person that digs us. But anyway, we're blowing up in Puerto Rico. They're messaging Iggy like crazy, loving what he's doing.
Nice.
And loving the band. And there will be a show in Puerto Rico. So
that's awesome.
DawnOfTheRisingBand.com. Keep posted because once this shit opens up, you will see a Puerto Rico date on there. Probably next year, of course. But yeah, we're
it's all right.
Puerto
It's not
Rico.
that far away.
And so that's Iggy in a nutshell. Oh, and by the way, he would want me to mention, if he were here, he would. These fuckers threw me under the bus and made me record right away when I joined the band. I had no time to breathe. I'm sorry, Iggy.
Aww.
Iggy sucks to be you.
I'm sorry.
Welcome.
I'm sorry you had to join an awesome band. That sucks.
Welcome to Dawn of the Rising.
No, but look what he did in such a short time, and he smashed it out of the park. And he also did the video with us. And we were glad to get him in time to be on the record,
right.
to be in the video, and be the guy actually playing, not some studio musician.
Right.
Because this is a fun fact for all you fans out there. Brandon was going to kick on another third hat and play the second guitar part before we found Iggy, on our record, because we had a release coming with the label.
And who's Brandon?
Brandon is the owner and operator and engineer and cinematographer and, anyway.
And this and that.
Of the Library Studios.
Nice.
Where you can get a badass video, bands, pay attention. You can get a badass video, or you can record your record there and it will sound money. Just listen to our shit. It's the audio, sonically, is bitching. We're doing the next half over there as well. Anyway, he was going to play guitar as a studio musician because he's a guitar player and he's played in a lot of good bands in town. You can just Google librarystudios.com and you'll see all his, band picture or his Facebook, and see all his band pictures of him playing his badass guitars. In fact, Justin, my son, that I've told you guys about, has bought one of those, that Gibson style Epiphone, the black one that's in the video. Or no, I think he used the Charvel of Iggy's in the video, but it's in the other videos. He bought that from Brandon, but he was going to play the second guitar, but we found Iggy thanks to David Martinez in Noción, and he came in the band, and we said, dude, look, it would be awesome if you could get these songs down in enough time.
No pressure.
Yeah, out of the pan into the fire. But he did a great job, and also it sealed the deal on how solid that dude is and his skill level. Nobody, especially a good musician, likes to do something off the cuff like that. They want to be confident in what they're doing.
Right.
They want to be practiced, rehearsed, and ready. He was, but it took a lot of work. He was up night and day at home, in his studio at home,
right,
learning and cramming. But Brandon was waiting with his guitar. All
Just
right,
in
I can
case.
do this. I can do this. He also did produce and add a couple ear candy guitar riffs that the guys actually played, but Brandon's ideas.
Nice.
That he said, "Give me that snatch." And he
Here,
did.
try this.
He helped produce.
That's
And
awesome.
I want to give him the credit because he's great. He is the sixth Beatle. Well, the seventh because Brooke. But honestly, I can't say enough. I know I've ranted on Brandon, but I can't say enough because I really feel he's a solid guy. He's the only guy I will use, because I believe in good business and
Right.
why change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right.
Absolutely.
So I will always continue, unless something happens, to use Brandon for audio and video, as long as we can and will.
Okay,
But,
so now Cupcake Boy, and I am. That's it. He will be called Cupcake Boy.
All right,
from
Ricky
here
Bobby,
forward.
Ricky Bobby, Cupcake Boy.
Ricky, now I knew Ricky. Okay, here's Ricky's history. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
He comes from One Body Too Many, a great band from the 2006, 7s and beyond.
That now doesn't have one body too many because you took him?
Right. They have one body too less.
Yeah.
No, that's his baby. His cousin was a singer. He's an awesome dude. Love that guy. He was a really good singer, great kid too. Always liked them. I always loved the band. Well, when we started this project and then we had a member fall off, I immediately thought of Rick. Ricky Bobby, whatever you want to call him, Cupcake Boy, whatever.
That comes from him and I spending 2 or 3 weeks discussing cupcakes on Facebook.
Right. He loves cupcakes with sprinkles. No,
Oh,
just kidding.
Lord.
Anyways, I thought of him immediately. We were opening for Grand Bonnet and Y&T. We had both of them booked solid, and we needed a bass player immediately. So I thought, damn, Rick would work out. And I asked him, would you like to come and play those shows? And I remember asking him in the beginning of the band, way in the beginning, I asked Rick, and he was busy. He's like, I don't know if I want to do that anymore or whatever. See, he had something going on. I can't remember. Another band, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. But he turned down the initial invite.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had another guy, didn't work out. Boom. Me back. Ricky, come on, dude. I need help for Grand Bonnet and Y&T show. And he said, all right, man. And he did it, and he really liked the band a lot. And we needed a bass player. And we get along, and he's such a good, solid friend and guy. I said, do you want... Well, we said, I'm sorry. There's no I in team, We said, Ricky, man, stick around, bro. You're a good dude. You're solid. And he said, all right. And
Nice.
There's his growth and birth into Dawn of the Rising. Now, let me get to Chris. He's a solid brother. Love that guy. Shitload of talent. Oh, my God. The best drummer ever. I swear to God. He's up there with Greg Hall from Sacred Reich. I've always been a fan of his too, and Chris is a protege of that, and every bit as good. And I'm very proud to play with Chris in the band. But he comes from a long line of kick-ass bands. Mr. Dead, 454, 94 Blades, which I was in. And I was in Mr. Dead for a couple days too, but I don't want to tell that story.
A couple of days kind of sums
No, actually,
it up.
it was a month, and I didn't get along with one of the other members, so I bounced. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. Like you and I said earlier, drama sucks.
Yeah. And it's not the good kind of suck.
Yeah, we won't do that. And I'm not going to slam anybody either. I don't want to fucking bash anybody. I want good karma, and everyone else does too.
Absolutely.
But he was in Mr. Dead. I jammed with them for a month, and then he was in 94 Blades, which was called Anger Management before that. And him and Dave, Evil Dave, also from 454, called me and said, hey, well, it was Chris actually, and he said, dude, are you still in Triple Ever? And I was like, no, why? And he's like, dude, we need a singer. And I'm like, okay. So we went over there and we reconnected. Well, when that project fell apart, immediately thought of Chris and said, hey man, because I've elaborated on his playing and his skill level. We got probably like 1,000 dog years in experience between me, Chris, and Iggy and Ricky and Justin now. And we'll get to Justin. But yeah, so very happy. Chris, when Justin and I started this band, Chris was like, hell yeah, I'll jam with you guys. And I was very happy to hear that, because it's another brotherhood. We've always hit it off. We've always been friends. I love him, his family, his wife Jenna, very cool.
Well, and one of the things that has been repeated so many times in so many interviews is having that connection with your bandmates, having that bond.
Yeah.
That's important.
Absolutely.
For the music.
Oh yeah, like I said, if you don't click and it's not jiving, people can tell.
Yeah.
If you're not happy on stage and there's no mojo, you got shit.
Right.
You might as well pack it up because you're wasting your fucking time. If you don't get along, quit now. Find people that fit. People that you can trust, that are loyal, that won't stab you in the back. People you, like you said, you can trust them in your house with a $20 bill on the table.
Right.
That's how you know when somebody's solid. That won't hit on your old lady behind your back. That won't, steal, or you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
It's family, and that's the way I look at it. I know most arrogant musicians. It's business.
It's not
fuck
business.
You. It's
you guys
family first, band family and your family.
Yeah.
And then the music's number one because you have to be tight. But if you're not jiving, you're not going to be tight.
Right.
You don't even give a shit what that dude's doing over there because you don't even like him. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to surround yourself with people who are loyal and that you're friends and brothers.
Right.
And you got to be able to trust them with your baby because this music is your baby.
Absolutely. Every song is a piece of you.
And so Chris, a solid member. Now, who do we got left? Justin, right?
Right.
Okay, my son Justin Coon. What a admirable human being. Wow. What a great dude. Very solid. Very, what would you say, Brooke?
Woke.
Woke.
Justin's a very woke individual.
He does not...
He's so easy to travel with.
He's not reactive. He's not reactive to anything. Like when shit's hitting the fan, 110, he don't freak out.
No,
yeah.
He stays chill. And
he's calm.
Like he's really easy to go on the road with and do gigs with.
Now, Justin is your youngest member at how old?
He's 29 now?
I think 28.
28?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I think 28. I'm so old, I'm senile.
And oldest member. Who's your oldest member?
Well,
is that you?
I think I am.
Sorry, didn't mean to make you feel it.
Calling me out.
But
what's funny is my son's on the youngest. I'm at the top.
I'm bringing that up because Grudgemeyer is another band that has that same happening.
Wow.
They've got their drummer and his son, who's in his early 20s, in the band.
Nice. Salute.
I look at that and I think, what a great opportunity you have.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have got such a span of knowledge and interest. He can keep you guys focused on what's new, latest, greatest, because he's right there in the middle of it with his age group.
Oh, yeah. And
then you guys have got the years of experience to actually take that knowledge and fly with it.
Yes, and that's something Brooke and I have spoken about, is when we're all retired, Justin is going to be one seasoned hell of a musician.
Oh, shit, yes.
And he's going to be running shit, He'll
be able to carry Dawn of the Rising on.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Ray talks about.
How many generations are we going to get this one going?
Probably forever.
On and on and on.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Well, our grandkids, which is his brother James's children, Grayson, Thaxton, and Hazley, they're going to be the new members once, and then Justin will mentor them.
Nice. I'm good. I am so
my
good with
son
that.
told me today when we were visiting our grandkids that Thaxton, one of the twins, they're twins, identical. Adorable. I'm sure
I've seen them. Let me tell you, I have seen them.
Yeah. Well,
I love
my son
babies.
tells me
They're
he
sweet.
actually sings along to the songs on the Disney Channel, and he's in key. He switches the keys.
Nice.
He's not just singing it.
He's got that natural
He
ear.
can hear the note naturally,
Nice.
and he said he's changing because James was a singer. That's Justin's older brother.
Mm-hmm.
He sang in Impulsive Aggression. They actually opened for Sacred Reich once as well.
Nice.
But now he has a family, so he's doing that. He's just not singing actively in a band. I probably have him on stage to scream here and there. I'm sure you'll see him someday.
Nice.
But he doesn't get much time. All the kids are young.
That's a hard time in life when you've got young ones running around.
Absolutely.
I've been there, done
So
that.
that'll be that generation. But I'll finish on Justin. Speaking of his brothers, the band he was in before this, the Drunken Flesh Machines, which was all Coon brothers.
Oh my God.
Nathan, James, Austin, and Justin, and they had a little thing going on and jamming and stuff, and that was kind of cool, the Coon brothers, but you kind of can't.
And if we were in video right now, you would see the biggest smile spreading across these guys' face as these stories are being told about their children and grandchildren.
Yeah, I know, and I know we sound old, but we still look young.
Absolutely. I would have never pegged you for 51. Not at all.
Hey, when you go to the crossroads and, you stay young. Till it's over, and you go straight to hell.
Or until you have to get out of bed in the middle of the night.
See, people look at me my birthday was celebrated at our 6-month anniversary show back in March.
Yes.
That was my 48th birthday.
Wow.
And everybody looks at me like, no, you're like 35-ish. And I'm like, yeah, you're so cute. No.
Yeah.
I celebrate every one of those 48 years. It was 48 years I didn't kill anyone or go to prison.
Well, I decided a long time ago, 27 is a good number. So I turn 27 every year on February 17th.
See, and I have no problem with my age. I'm good with it.
Right. I'm just staying put. I'm fermenting.
Or 27
like kimchi.
We're
27 with interest.
Us old rockers, we're like a fine wine. We get better with age.
I can buy into that one. I can so buy into that one. So we are coming up on a little over an hour, and it is getting late. I know poor Miss Brooke is over there trying not to fall asleep, and not because we're not interesting. So I've got a couple more questions. These are kind of must-have questions. They are some of my favorite ones to ask, even though seriously, every band growls at me. Not shitting. It's so funny. So, number one, your favorite song out of all of them that you guys do.
Let me think. My favorite song, the one Justin just wrote, is one of them. Just Broken. More the guitar, because Justin wrote that on his own. He's written the other songs with me as well, but that was me in there as well. I did write the lyrics and melody, but he wrote the guitar at home and he sent it to me on his phone as an acoustic, but it's, obviously electric. It was a very proud moment for me, because he had went on his own and he wrote a freaking song.
Right.
And he sent it to me, and it's his. He owns it. And that's why it's Just Broken, because it was broken when I wrote the words, but Justin wrote it.
Right.
So it's Just Broken.
Nice. That is awesome.
And the words have no tie into the meaning at all, as far as, what I'm saying. The lyrics mean what they do, but
that's
the song,
the story behind
if I had
the
to
song.
pick a favorite song, it would be that, because of that reason,
Right.
the emotional.
It's that proud papa moment.
Right, exactly.
That is awesome.
Exactly. And as a new rocker song that I like for the band, I like what Iggy brought to the band. I like Endless Cries. That song has grown on me, and I really.
Is that on the new EP?
Yes.
All right, so everybody needs to make sure that when they get that EP, because you're going to go get it.
You
need
can get
to
it
make
on Spotify, Apple Music, all the ones I listed before, Deezer,
Yeah. So you need to make sure that you go listen to Endless Cries, and then Iggy needs to hear all about how great he did.
No, he kicked ass. I mean, we had to do the same thing with his song, you know what
Right.
I mean? We had to cram and learn and jam.
You bet.
So it was a major cram course. Like, we had finals coming when he joined the band. It was like a whirlwind, and that's how you show true colors as a musician in the world today. And we did it, and I'm really proud of everyone in the band, and I'm proud of Brooke and all her contributions, actress-wise. And her friend Lori Love, the actress, is proud of her as well. She actually, her and her husband own a movie production company in California, and they do movies for Netflix and Hallmark and whatnot.
Right.
But she's proud of Brooke as well. And,
You
and
bet.
all her
You did a great job.
I really enjoyed it. I had fun.
It's fun if you could just hear the shit in between.
The behind the scenes videos that don't get released.
Yes.
So, what is your icon venue? That place that when Dawn of the Rising gets to play there for the first time, you're really going to look at yourself in your head and go, we made it.
Okay. Place I would love to play, right?
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden, or the Knicks.
And believe it or not, I've got quite a few bands that have chosen Madison Square Garden as their it place. Mm-hmm. I think the most interesting response that I had was the base of the Grand Canyon.
Huh.
That's cool as hell.
It would never happen, but could you imagine oh my God, the sound.
It would be a wall of waves, and at some point you wouldn't even understand, but it would still be musical, because just like the birds that fly through there when they screech.
Yeah.
The hawks, Do you know the sound that they do for eagles in movies is actually a hawk?
Yeah, I did know that.
Okay.
So, here's the one that actually gets me growled at. Because I'm not nice. If you could pick any band, live or dead, to share a stage with, and the live or dead part is the part that makes it so difficult for everybody, who would you pick to share it for Dawn of the Rising to share the stage with?
Judas Priest. and a close second, Iron Maiden, and the original Queensryche. But definitely, I actually worked in my tech days that I told you about. The last Queensryche lineup in '97. I actually worked that show with the Chris DeGarmo and the original everybody, Jeff Tate, and it was amazing, and that's one of my top favorite bands, but my top 5 bands probably is Judas Priest, number 1. Halford is the metal god, and Bruce Dickinson is there as well. Dio, Jeff Tate, top 4, 5, Tony Arnell from TNT, and Jack Russell from Great White. There's a lot of greats, that really influenced me over my years. And Stephen Clifford from Icon, Eric A.K. from Flotsam, he's up there too with me.
I actually found on my feed one day a 3-minute clip of Eric A.K. he was recording like 3 song lyrics or 3 song lines. And I can tell you, I've probably watched that thing like 15 times now. I reposted it to the local beat because one of the first things when the bands come off the stage, my bands, they give me hugs and say hi and whatever, and they always apologize for being sweaty. I looked at that and I went, they don't need to apologize anymore. The level of force and energy that man put into those 3 lines. You could see he looked like he was out of breath after stopping at 1 line.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and y'all get up and do that for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know.
Some bands play 4 hours. They do 4 sets.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do.
You have to be a really well-trained singer. Trust me.
It's amazing. And that
Western
was...
Society, we did that. Because we were an original band. We have a record.
Mm-hmm.
But we did mostly covers.
Yeah.
Because in rock and blues, you can't get gigs if you play just your own music.
Unfortunately, in so much of Phoenix, you can't get gigs if you just play your own music.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
I am working to change that. I swear to God, I'm working to change
And if anybody
it.
can, you can learn.
Do you
I
know...
would fight for it.
I have a suggestion to add to your questions for bands here.
Sure.
What's their favorite live venue that they play here in? You know what I'm saying? In Arizona, What is your favorite place to play?
I do ask, one of the questions I have been known to ask is worst gig and best gig.
Oh, okay. Is that coming?
We can absolutely. So out of all of your shows that you've played, which one was your favorite?
Wow.
See, I have to be careful which ones I ask.
Well, I have to pick always the top 5. Just like when somebody says, who's your favorite singer? I have to throw in the other 4. You know what I mean? I just can't help it. I'm ODC like that.
You do it.
My top venue to play and promoter would be probably 13th Floor and Club Red. But one of my favorite shows, well, I would have to say the first Dawn of the Rising show ever was Armored Saint. That is at the top of my list, along with, and not one of my favorite clubs, but a place everyone loves to play, was Tom Kiefer at the Marquee Theater. Those 2 are at the top. And then with Straight Jacket many years ago was Warrant. That was a really great show, and that was with Janie Lane, who was live. Mm-hmm. And that dude was such a gifted vocalist, and God bless him, and rest in peace. And
that was at the Jar?
Yes, that was at the Mason Jar. And the MOD show in '89, because it was my first real national, oh my God, show. I was 19. And MOD, Billy Milano, right. SOD, Speak English or Die. But this was MOD,
Yeah.
Method of Destruction, Where are we? The accident scene. You know.
So, worst show.
Okay.
Vegas.
Yes.
It was the middle of the summer, and they got booked at a club where they did not turn on the air conditioning.
Oh my god!
It was scummy promoter, and it just didn't work out.
How long were you on stage for?
We did a 45-minute set, and it was blistering hot. I literally went to Walmart, bought a fan, and it burned out on stage. By the time we were done, I'm like, something's on fire, and I'm smelling it, and I'm like looking over, and I'm like, because we're looking at the pedals of the guitars, looking at the amps, because it's It was 115 outside. Imagine what it was inside with metalheads and bands
and
going
all
fucking
the
crazy.
equipment that could have easily burned out.
Oh, it was easily 125 in there.
Oh, Jesus.
The fan burned up. I had to take it back to Walmart because it was blown up. It fried during the set.
But I'm just thinking
I don't know how we
dangerous
lived,
for your
to be honest.
equipment.
Oh, it was not good, and our drummer Chris was pissed because his skins on his drums, and he loves his equipment. He has top-notch shit.
Well, yeah.
And it was brutal, and no compensation. Our accommodations were bitching though. We stayed at an awesome hotel because Brooke and I are in the hotel business. Had a tub with the,
Yeah, but how dangerous! And you let him do that, Brooke?
She was suffering right away.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, I was right there with him. Kind of wanted to kill
Misery
him.
loves company.
I'll tell you what, Larry. You can't.
One.
Once these musicians have their minds made up on what they're doing and what's going on and the commitment, there's no talking them out of anything. And Ray has that mentality of the show must go on.
Oh God!
No matter what.
Not to the point of your death, please.
Probably.
Oh, it came. I think we all came a couple heartbeats away. If there was one more song in the set, we would have perished.
Oh Lord! Oh.
No, that's no bullshit.
No, I'm not.
And it was in the side of town, way away from the cool shit. It was in the ghetto.
Yeah,
you which I don't even mind about that. I love that. But it's punk rock. But turn on the fucking air. Somebody.
Yeah, because I can only imagine the smell.
Oh, you didn't? Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh.
Bunch of drunk metalheads sweating. Are you kidding?
Right. and yeah. Ew.
Yeah.
Not happy.
No, it was miserable, and that has to be the worst. Las Vegas for sure. Dawn of the Rising. Yeah.
Oh man, that just
And there was a band that just came off the stage warning us. Dude, do you guys have a fan? No, don't play. He said, it's way too brutal. You might not make it. He said that straight up.
It's hot on stage as it is with the lights and everything. And then you guys are so physically active.
Yeah, we still put on our show. I like I said, the show must go on. But after the show, I probably lost 15 pounds in water weight. Straight up. No lie. My pants were falling off.
That's not a bonus round.
No. No, that's a raisin round.
Yeah.
Freeze dried.
So we are.
Well, not freeze.
I'm gonna ask one more delicate question. I will not hold you to this because we do not have control of the situation these days. But in theory, in the perfect world, if all goes well, by the grace of all that is holy, when is Dawn of the Rising's next show?
Flotsam and Jetsam, April 30th, 2021.
Okay,
no, you know what it'll be? It'll be Metal in the Mountains because it's postponed.
Okay.
I don't know because I haven't heard from the label rep. But I'm thinking August-ish is maybe fall. I'm being optimistic, of course.
So
Metal in the Mountains might be our next thing, or you were putting a festival together.
Well, that's actually that festival that I was putting together. I have had saner minds than mine. explained to me in no uncertain terms that the idea of trying to put on a 3-day festival within my first year of being in the music community is a little bit farther beyond insane than even I want to go. So we have postponed the 3-day. We're looking at the idea now is we'll start with a 1-day for our 1 year, a 2-day for our 2 year, and then the 3-day by our 3rd year.
Yeah, good concept. I am working on a show once this lifts. I have 3 bands that we want to play with and that want to play with us.
Nice.
Lawless, my homie John Leon, Francis Leon online. He's an awesome guy. Another guy back in the day played in Amnesty. For people who are my age, they'll remember that band. They kicked ass. He also sang Queensryche and shit like that. In fact, whenever he was sick or whatever, he would call me to sing Take Hold of the Flame for him on stage, and vice versa. I looked up to John Leon when I was starting out in the 80s because he was a great singer, and him and Larry and all those guys were bitching and killer to us, and they got Contact High on some killer gigs.
Nice.
At Hammerheads and shit like that, and Hammerheads, just some of them older clubs, you know.
Right.
But we would play with them a lot, and so his new band Lawless, they'll probably be on the bill. I was just talking to Brian Mogul. What's his band? It's a long name, that's why I can't remember.
Are you talking about?
Starts with a V, I think.
A V, I don't know that.
It's a long name.
Well,
but
because
anyway,
he
was talking about...
He's got Ankh Aliens, and then he's got the Brian Mogul Project. He was in Art Long and the Rat Bastards, but he had to step down from that because of his health concerns.
I can't remember which one he mentioned, but we spoke the other night via Messenger.
Yeah.
And so his band, more than likely, if it
Are
works
you talking
out,
about the Videodyssey?
Yeah.
That's his, where he's got the backdrop behind him where he's playing, he and his guys are all playing to actual movie clips. That's a pretty awesome thing. Okay,
so yeah, he was saying that, and I said, yeah, because I'm planning because I want to do a breakout show. It's probably what I'll call it.
Instead of outbreak, do breakout.
Breakout. Exactly. We caught that. Nice. But I want to do a breakout show, and like I said, I want Lawless on it, and I want Brian Mogul, and also my friend Norm Courier from the Slick Black Automatic.
Except he's got Slick Black Automatic isn't.
No, they're not a band, but his new band.
Yes.
What's the name of that?
Oh my goodness!
My memory
Velocity,
sucks.
Something Velocity.
Yeah. Anyway, those 3.
I had them booked on a show.
Those 3 and us, and I have a friend, my old boss from Atlantis Audio. I told you I did audio and whatnot. I was with Atlantis Audio for 6 years, learning audio tech and sound man and lighting tech and doing video and all that. Well, anyway, long story short, my boss at that time, which still works for them, is Redbeard, and he also was a front of house for Tech 9, but he doesn't do that anymore. But now, long story short, he works at Pub Rock, and I believe he's part of that, and he always has. He's always ran sound there. But he said he would give me the night if I needed it.
Versus All is his band name.
Okay, Versus All. So Versus All, Dawn of the Rising, video. What is it called? Video what? Videodyssey?
Videodyssey.
Okay, Videodyssey, Lawless, Dawn of the Rising, and Norm's band. Versus All.
Yeah.
That will be a thing. Breakout show.
Yeah, I actually...
Nobody's signed on yet, but we've all talked to each other and we're all cool. Yeah. Well, me individually talking to them one at a time. So I'm. This is just a plan. Like you said, it's hypothetical as hell. Right. But I'm doing it.
Yeah.
When it's able to be done.
Right.
Probably a Pub Rock. That was the whole story with Redbeard, because he said, "Hey, when Brooke and I went to support another label band, Lethal Injection, the hat I'm wearing right now, or actually it was Before the Silence. One of the rapper that's in this band raps in that band. Before the Silence, they're both on Curtain Call Records. And we went there to support them, and I saw Redbeard there, and I hadn't seen him in 4 years because I've been at the resort with Brooke, and out of the audio world. But I saw him there, and he's like, dude, if you guys want to play here, tell him about the success of the band and whatnot. And he's like, if you ever want to play here, I'll give you the night. He gave me a cash amount, which I won't mention, and I'll rent the night, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I get the bands and do everything. And I thought of Norm. He's a good dude. Another solid dude out there that I really, really like. I like Slick Black Automatic. I really like his style, Norm's style. He's a great guy. And he let Brooke and I in line at Judas Priest. Nothing in the world means more to me than that, because I still have that shirt that he helped me get because we were not going to get into the line to get it because it was like a mile long.
Well, it's funny because he is actually a part of a milestone moment for me. Icky Stain of Oddity Paradox. When I first started building shows just a couple months ago, came to me and said, hey, I want to introduce you to this guy. He's a band. He's somebody that needs you to get him on a show. So he's one of those, he's not new versus all I don't believe are that new of a band. But Icky Stain thought enough of me to want to connect him to me. To connect Norm and Versus All to me to help get in my promoting world. I hate calling it that, but yeah, into a part of what I do. So it was kind of a sit back and take notice moment for me of, I'm actually gaining enough respect that people are actually referring other bands to me. Oh, that's so cool. So let's wrap up this evening. Okay. My goodness. Yes, we can talk. It is what we seem to do best. Go figure. I really want to thank you guys for coming out and sharing the evening and the stories with me. It has been fantastic.
We had a great time, Larry. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your hospitality.
No problem.
So
and everything you do in the scene, the local beat. And I'm glad you work with Sean Gilbreth, one of my oldest friends that I've known. We went to grade school, the Desert Vikings. Shout out, hashtag.
Absolutely.
But no, I've known that guy forever, and it's awesome. Full circle. We were metalheads as kids. We dreamed of getting big and famous and all that, and we're still doing it today. And shout out to him, man.
Absolutely. Sean is absolutely incredible. He has been such a support system for me as well. So I got to say, I absolutely appreciate having him in my world. I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. Thank you for tuning in to The Beat Goes On. Stay safe and sane these days, my friends, and tune in for the next show.